rules and quick review. Summary. It's just a summary of the entire lessons, okay? Not in details. Dependent variable and independent variable in graph, okay? Take a look at the graph on the left side here. You can see here the x-axis is the age and the y-axis is what? The height. So it's the relationship between age and height. Age is independent variable. Always taking the x value. So the independent takes what? The x value. Now the height. The more you grow in your age, the more you gain height. You become taller. So height becomes what? Dependent variable, and it's always taking what? The x-axis. Huh? That's how it is. It is like this. Okay, it's always x-axis and y-axis like this. The independent is the x-axis. You have to. This is rule of thumb. Okay. Now the independent value, they call it the cause. Another name for it is cause. And the independent is called the cause, and the dependent is called the effect. So the cause affect the dependent. They become okay. Let's go to the next one. Here I have a picture of plants, and we are measuring the relationship between water and plant size, number of leaves, living or dead. So the water is considered what? Independent variable. It's always x-axis, okay? It's the cause. And the size is the dependent variable, always y-axis. So if I want to graph this, it's going to be like this, okay? Next topic we're going to be covering is the two types of data. We have qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative is numerical. Qualitative, another name for it is categorical. Categorical. So they don't call it qualitative anymore. They call it categorical. Okay. And they are classified under two types. One is called nominal, and the other one is ordinal. Like, for example, if I ask for your names, okay, is order is important? No. It's not important. Okay. What about if I say horses in a race? The names of the horses in the race. Is it important to put it in order? Yeah, but this is called ordinal. Okay. Now for numerical, we have two types. This is just a review. Just summary. We will go through this in details later. Okay. Numerical, we have two types of numerical: interval and rational. Interval is fixed. So if I say something is fixed, how many students in the class? 34. Very good. And this is called interval because I cannot say like decimal. There is no decimal here. Okay. Now ratio. Ratio is dealing with decimal, right? Last time I asked about your weight, correct? I can bring measurements, and she stand on the measurement, and I can weight her. She's gonna say 50. 50 point what? 50.1. 50.1 what? 4. 50.4 what? 3. 2. So I can continuous. Means her measurement cannot be like precise. So it's 51.4321. I can make it continuous. So it has decimal. So that's called continuous. Is this clear? And that's, they name it ratio. Okay. Next, In this lesson, we'll cover sampling technique. We have different type of sampling techniques: simple, systematic, stratified, cluster, and convenience. There are other methods as well, but this is what we have right now. We have variable types. We talked about this. We have dependent, independent, and there is co-founding, and there is extraneous. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have errors, many errors, different errors, but here we have sampling error. Okay. This goes by small sample. If you take a small sample, then you cause an error. So it has to be large enough, at least 50. Okay, 51 or something. Solution. So you just draw more sample. We have another problem here which is called non-sampling error. This is sampling error. This is non-sampling error. Okay. This caused by external factors. Okay. You might not recognize it, and maybe you recognize it. Okay. Type. What should I do about this? You have to study the mechanism very well. Okay. Now, ethics. What is ethics? Ethics is a branch of philosophy that involves systematizing, defending, and recommending concept of right and wrong conduct. The term ethic is derived from ancient Greek word habit or custom, ethikos. Okay. Ethical standard research must. If you have, you have to have standards for the research. So the research must have what? Not use plagiarism. You cannot take someone else's work and then say this is mine. Not skew their conclusion based on founding. What mean this? Means what's skew mean?
Leaning towards one side.
Right, exactly. So you favor Al Ahly team. So in this case, you say, oh, Ahly they have a better players. When I did the research and did the founding, better players, because you are favoring the Ahly team. But that's not good. Next point is not commit science fraud. Means like falsely research of or otherwise conduct scientific misconduct. Okay, next one, follows all regulation given and anticipates possible ethical problem in their research. So you have to follow the regulation. Next, the participants in your qualitative study should be always what? Protected. Participants should always be what? Treated with what? Respect. Researchers should do their best to ensure that no physical or psychological harm will come to anyone who participates in the study. So you have to put all this into consideration. Uses and abusive statistics. So here we have suspected samples, confusing average, changing the subjects, detached statistics, implied connections that may not exist, misleading graphs. I think we touched on the misleading graph last time. Yes, and I give you like homework, classwork to do, right? So this is, I think this is basically, and there is the last one, faulty survey questions. You write question that is favoring something that you want. So you will say, do you like the Ahly team? You like the Ahly team? You like the Ahly team? So when you make the choice, you will say, yeah, my favorite team is Ahly. So make sure that the researcher does not affect the person who's taking the survey. Okay. Now let's go to our first question here. List some statistical software. How many statistical software do we have? We have many. Not only one or two, we have more than one. The first one is what? Microsoft Excel. Okay, and I think most of us who used it. Okay, it's a multifunctional data analysis tool, can perform many functions, but none as well as programs that are dedicated to a single function. Second program is Minitab. Okay, a statistical package to perform statistical analysis, designed to perform analysis as accurately as possible, but it has limitation. Okay, both Minitab and Excel uses worksheet to store data. When you use Minitab or Microsoft Excel, you place the data you have collected in a worksheet. The intersection of the columns and the rows of the worksheets forms boxes called cells. If you want to refer to a group of cells that forms contiguous rectangular area, you can use a cell range. Worksheet exists inside a workbook in Excel and inside a project in Minitab. Both worksheet and project can contains both data, summarize, and charts. The next software, or the third software, is SAS. It's called Statistical Analysis Software. It's a very strong software. Okay. I have another homework assignment for you. I need you to look at the pros and cons of SAS, SPSS, and Python. So look in the internet or in the book for the difference between those one and tell me the advantage and disadvantage of SAS, SPSS, and Python. Okay?
Now
Clear?
or
No, not now. Later.
do you want us to submit it as PDF or just save in the next class?
Yeah, do it in your notebook or on the paper. Okay.
For, sorry, for SAS and what?
It's written on the paper. You see it on the paper or on the paper here?
Okay.
Can you see it? Okay, let's go for guided practice. The question here, can identify sources of data. We talked about this last time, and we'll talk again we have two types of data sources. It's you, or you get it from somebody else. Okay, they call it secondary data, sometimes called third party type. About you, what do? You do experiments or observation of data. Okay, can you do survey? Yes, you can do also survey. Okay, now secondary, you can go for census. What is census? Right, it's a government survey. So they go to the whole entire population and they knock on your door and they say how many people live there, how old they are, how much you make, all this, but it's very expensive because you have to knock on the door. And if you don't open the door, what's going to happen? No, they bring the police next time to make sure that you're legally. Yeah, for me, they bring the university to my house. They knock the door. They say, these people are good people. Give them the information. Yes, I swear to God, they did this to me. So you make sure to give them the information because I was scared to give them the information. Because, you don't give the information to anyone, knock the door. And you have to have the badge and you make sure that the place of work send you an email, say that somebody's coming to visit you.
Because now I think they do it digitally.
They do it digitally? Okay. So another way to collect data is print journals or published data or in the internet. For example, blogs, newspaper, magazine, published articles. That's how you collect data. Okay. Now let's go to the next topic. Next topic is research methodology. Okay, different research methodology have different purpose and different level of validity. Okay, this is one measure that helps determine how accurate the result of a research methods are. Validity, we talked about validity last time, is a term that refers to whether or not study measure what it's supposed to measure. The result of the study provide stronger evidence if the research has a higher measure of validity. Observation and experimental studies. In an observation study, the researcher merely observes and tries to draw conclusion based on the observation. In a design experiment study, the researcher manipulates, يعني he play, okay, with what? With the independent variable, and tries to determine how the manipulation influence the dependent variable. Just like we said about the amount of water you put in the plants and how this will affect on the growth of the plants. So the water is the independent, and the plants growing, the height and number of leaves is the dependent variable. Good. Now I want you to try this one now, or maybe I can help you. Okay, I will help you with this. Okay, identify each study as either observation or experiment. What do you think, Dana? Yeah, read the first one, please.
A researcher finds that people who are more
Hostile or hostile
have higher cholesterol levels than those who are less hostile. This is observational because he just observed. He didn't do anything to
Okay, that's good. So just observing, right?
Yes.
Next one.
Subjects were randomly assigned to two groups, and one group was given a drug, and the other group was a placebo. After 6 months, the number of respiratory tract infections each group had were comparable. That's experimental.
Experimental.
Experimented with the drug.
Right, now we have independent and independent. What's the independent? Is the drugs. Now, do you know what's mean placebo?
Yes. It looks like medication.
It has nothing inside. It's just nothing. Okay, why do you give placebo to one group?
To see if they were psychological.
Yes, it because it psychologically affects them. So if you have two groups and you give both of them drugs, right, and you are testing on that group A and group B, you have to give to the other group some medication. Otherwise, the other group, if you don't give them medication, they will think, oh, we are better. We are. There is a psychological effect. So you have to give one group medication and the other group medication. So when they meet in the coffee or cafeteria, they will be talking, oh, I took medication. And the other guy say, I took medication as well. But they don't know. Inside there is nothing, and the other one, they have some drugs, right? Okay, up to here is clear? All right, let's go to the next one. Yes, the drugs. Yes, both of them is called independent. Yes. Okay, because one group doesn't know that they are taking the drugs. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Census. What's the difference between census and surveying the collecting data? Census is collecting from everyone from the population. The survey, a method of gathering information from a sample of individuals. Okay. List 4 types to a successful survey. How can I have a successful survey? Yes, there is 4 steps to successful survey. What are the 4 steps? The first step, create the questions. Ask the questions. Tally the results. Exactly. Those are the successful ways. Next question. What type of data or data measure types? Well, it's all same meaning. Types of measuring data variables. Okay. We said In statistics, we are examining in a variable, is a variable. It is what we studying, and it can be measurable, countable, and categorized. We said about this. We said the numerical and categorical. Numerical is numbers, right? Categorical is just names, text, letters. Like for example here, when we talk about how people can have different heights, weights, hair color. The hair color, this is categorical, correct?
Yeah.
And weight is what? Numerical, right? And height, this is called variables. Okay, the variable represent a characteristic of what we are trying to study, and they can vary among different individuals. When we measure a variable, our data can come into two different forms. There is categorical, it's called qualitative, and there is a numerical data that's called quantitative. Okay, is this clear? And we talked about quantitative and qualitative. I think you're comfortable. If you are comfortable, raise your hand. If you feel comfortable with this two types. Okay, if you're not comfortable with quantitative and qualitative, raise your hand. You're not comfortable. Okay. And okay, quantitative is numbers. How, when I say about how old are you, how much money do you have? So how old, how much, how many? It's numbers, right? But if I ask you, what is your colors of your eyes? Okay, that's what categorical. You're gonna say brown, right? What is your family name? Categorical, right? Okay, so for numerical, I can do calculation. I can do the average, the mean. Average and mean the same thing, right? Minimum, maximum, standard deviation. I can do so many calculations. But for your colors of your eye, what can I do? If we have the whole class is color green, their eyes is green, what can I do? I just say, oh, I have 26 students, their color, beautiful green girls, green. That's it. But I cannot say any calculation. If we have half, 50%, I say 50% green, 50% blue or brown. That's it. That's all I can do. But I cannot do much. If I say, where do you live? Where do you live? The mom. Okay, so I cannot do anything with, like, I can say 50% they live in Hobart, 50% they live in the mom, but there is no calculation. Just only, yeah, just only small things we can do. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go for nominal and ordinal. Again, nominal is covering what? Just names, right? If I ask about your names, those just only is considered as categorical. Okay. Now the order is important. If I say, you know, I take you to Ariz for 100 feet and you run, but the order here is important. I will take Sarah is number 1, Dana is number 2, Naila is number 3. The order here is important. Okay. For the numerical, as we talked about the interval, do you remember the interval and the ratio? Interval, they call it discrete. Another name for interval is what? Discrete. So it doesn't have to say interval, it can say discrete. And the other one is called continuous. Okay, so if you get discrete, discrete means what? Fixed. How many students in the class? 26. How much she weighed? 50. Are you sure 51? 50.1, only 0.1? 1 and 2? Yeah, but if you bring a scale and the scale give you more precise, it will not stop. It will keep continuous. So that's why the word continuous came from. Okay? Up to here is clear. Everybody raise your hand if you understand. Okay. Now we go for again, it's just talking about quantitative. It said measure of values or counts and are expressed as numbers. Data about numeric variables. How many, how much, how often. For the qualitative, measure of types and may be represented by name, symbol, number, code. Qualitative data are data about categorical variables. What type? Okay. Now let's go down here. Okay. Take a look at this graph and this graph. What's the difference between this graph and this graph?
This one is ratio, and this one's.
Yeah, this is for numbers, right? And this is for categorical, right? You see the difference? What's the difference? Gap. There is a gap here. See? And there is names here. See? And here there is no gaps. And the number is connected, right? All right. So you need to know this. Let's go.
Always like this?
Yes, it's always like this.
Doctor,
But of course, I can present the data in different graphs. It doesn't have to be bar graph. Okay.
the continuous, is it arranged or is it just a decimal? And for example, if you go-
It can be decimal. It's no problem. I can say
Can it be arranged?
like you have to, yeah, you have to count how many between that range. Like we did last time. Remember in the tally, the homework? Yeah, we have to have. You have to count how many take in that range. Okay. Okay, here a question comes. I like that question. Example of how quantitative and qualitative data can be gathered from the same data unit. I like this question. See, for a pencil, if I have a person and I ask him a question, how many children do you have? He would say how many? 4 children. But can I ask him the same question or different question? In which country were your children born? Australia. So now it turned from what? From number to categorical. How much do you earn? $60,000. What is your occupation? Photographer. How many hours do you work? 38 hours. Do you work full-time or part-time? Full-time. So you see? Good? And you do the same thing for the house. You can ask about how many meters is the house, and you can ask about in which city or the town is the house located, and so on. You can look at those examples. They are very nice. Okay. I always put the resources where I get this from where. So it's not, I'm not like plagiarism, you know, I'm not stealing the data. Okay. Now I want you to try this now. Who can try this? I need someone from the back. Please, in the back.
Yes.
Yes, can you please read the first one?
Color.
Yes. Black. Black, brown, green. That's a clue. I'm giving you a clue. So is this quantitative or qualitative? Qualitative. Lower categorical. Huh? All right. Next to you, please. Next to you in the back. Can you read B? Which one? Qualitative or categorical? Read it. What is this called? Quantity. Good. Thank you. Yalla, third one in the back, please. Read the question. Quantitative or qualitative? Very good. Thank you. Gender. Who is next, please? Quantitative or qualitative? Okay, I just put this word here, categorical. Okay, so you could know it's the same thing, right? So the last one is categorical, because gender can be male or female. All right, good. Next, who's next? Yeah, Mr. Yeah, Mrs. I'm sorry.
Identify each with other variables as qualitative or quantitative.
No, this one, part 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Time work in a week. Reason. Quantitative.
It's numerical or word? Time work per week, like 40 hours, 50 hours, 30 hours. Numerical, which is what? Quantitative. Numerical is what? Quantitative. Right. Can you say the answer to the next one?
Distance of commute to work.
Yeah, you go to work, how far? Come back and drive, how much? The distance. Numerical, very good, which is quantitative. Yalla, next you, please.
College major. It's, I think, numerical.
Numerical.
Word.
So it's a word. It's a word.
Yeah.
So it's quantitative, right? So, well, a qualitative, right? So, if your college major, I just want to say something. When you write the answer here, you write down qualitative, and the reason, it's a word. Okay. It's at circle 1. Okay, natural hair color. Who's next? Yeah. What's her name? Hair color. It's a word, right? So we say qualitative or categorical. Okay. So we have more here examples. Part 3 can do this. Can you do it now? Yalla, do it now on the computer. So here we are asking about what? Nominal, ordinal, interval, or rich. So let's go. Who's next? مين عليه الدور؟ مين عليه الدور؟ كلهم مين عليه الدور؟ حضرتك؟ Yes. The first one, hair color of a woman. It's what? It's categorical, right? Qualitative. But what type of qualitative? We have nominal and we have ordinal. Does the order matter here or there's no matter? Doesn't matter. Nominal. Bravo عليك. أحسنتي. Very good. All right. Let's go for the next one, please. Yes. Zero one. It's what? 01. It's not number, right? You see numbers? Huh? It is numbers, right? But it's not numbers. Can I do anything with these numbers? The girls he has on their shirt. Can I do calculation? Can I get the average? Can I do minimum, maximum? No. So you call it what? Categorical, right? Categorical. What type of categorical? Is the order important or not important? يبقى nominal. Clear? What numbers? Just only the girl, she's like have 0, 1. Other girl, she has 13. Other girl, she has 25. Is this clear? So we said this is what? Categorical and nominal. Is the order important? No. Not important. Okay, next one. Wow. It's first, is it first you say the big one. What's the big one? Quantitative, right. And quantitative, we have two types. Which type? Is it going to be discrete or continuous? It's a ratio. How old are you now? How old are you? 20? You're so young. Are you sure you're 20? Or 20.5? Today. What's your age today?
My age today is 19 and 11 months and 27 days.
And how many hours?
18.
How many minutes?
18 hours and 15 minutes.
How many seconds?
I don't know.
How many milliseconds? So it's what? Continuous. You remember that? Okay, good. All right, next one. Your turn.
Temperature of 22 selected refrigerators is quantitative and it is ratio because refrigerator can
Right. It doesn't have to be the temperature has to be like 21. It could be 21.5, 9, 8. So we cannot really get the precise measurement for this. Yes.
Doctor, I have a question.
Of course, another word for continuous is what? Ratio. So don't get confused. Ratio and continuous is the same thing. And the other word is what? Interval, it's discrete. So it's the same thing. Discrete and interval is the same thing.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, I don't have answer to all of the questions sometimes. Yes, go ahead.
For B, numbers on the shirts of a girls' soccer team it's ordinal, is it not?
Yeah, I thought that.
And then you have to keep the same number. Like in the team, you can have 2 people as number 1.
Is the order is important?
Yes.
You sure?
لا بس احيانا مثلا يكون مثلا 01 بس ما في مثلا 02 عرفت يكون مثلا 03 عرفت يعني مو شرط ان كل الارقام تكون موجوده.
Is the best girl has to be 01?
No.
It could be the worst one. It could be the middle one. It could be.
Because the number is not repeating itself.
It doesn't repeat. Yes.
But you can't do anything with these numbers.
I think it's more about it's not about when you randomly or that. It's just about it's just serious so it's just about order.
أتوقع لأنه مو زي مثلا سباق يعني عادي حوس.
It's not. Yeah.
10 23 أبرز يعني عرفت مو إلا.
Let's say for example, we have 26 students. Okay, each one of you got a number, right? And then some of you, there is a gap between you and Naila and her friends. You have a gap, like, and there is a new girl comes, and I want to pick this new number, the one in the middle. Does it mean that she's like in the middle? It's just a number. Okay.
Can you give us an example of one that's not nominal? The other one, ordinal?
Okay, we'll read and then it will come there. I don't have in my mind right now. Okay, let's go for the next one. Who can read? Who's next? Yes, please.
Number of milligrams of star 28 cigarettes.
What star? In the cigarettes. What's tar? I don't know. The people they smoke cigarette. Anybody here no smoke cigarette? There is something like tar. I think something is like harmless, harm, something harm inside. Harm. So they measure it by the tar. I don't know, something like that. So can you measure it precisely or it continuous? It's continuous. It's ratio. Okay. Next one, please. Next one. Yes, please say your name. Okay. Number of pages. Is this? Are we gonna? Is this a number or just a number? Okay, so it's what? Just number of pages? Yeah, like you have 400 pages. So we can say number or just say is it qualitative, categorical, or just a number? Just a number. So we just say, is it a number or for this? No, it's not a number. It's just a number. Yes, it's just a number, but it's categorical. It's categorical, and it's what? Discrete or interval. They call it interval. Interval means it's a fixed number. What you're gonna do is, if I say how many pages do you have in your book, you say 400, right? What I'm gonna do is that number. She has 400. She has 400. She has 400. 400. All of them they have 400. What I'm gonna do is the 400. Nothing, right? Okay, I will give you another example. This one is going to confuse you. The zip code. You know the zip code?
Yes.
In America, we don't have zip code here. We have. We have. So in my zip code in America is 07002. Is this a number or categorical? Categorical. Why?
Because it represents a city or a place. It's not with the number itself. I'm not going to deal with it or calculate with it. It's just to present somewhere.
Right.
Also, it's not.
That's it. So did you get this? Because she was asking about the shirts, like 01. What I'm going to do is 01. Just a number. So it's categorical. Is this and it's discrete. Is this clear?
Yes.
No doubt. If you understand, raise your hand. If you have a doubt, raise your hand. It's okay. Yes, you have a doubt. What is the doubt? What? Tell me.
So when you said, for example, 100 is like just a number.
Right. Talk about the zip code, or I think about the book.
Yeah, about the book.
The book. Okay.
Yeah.
The book. How many pages in the book? 400.
Okay.
Okay. She has 400. Everybody has 400. The total number of pages is 400. Are we gonna do with something with the 400?
Because it's the same.
We cannot do. Yeah, it's the same. So. Where in the answers? It said what number of pages on the okay, let's go to the answers. It's interval and discrete.
So it's quantitative, not
Quantitative?
qualitative.
Okay, خلاص quantitative. She win. Okay, you win. Okay, let's go to next one. Marriage. Marriage. Whose turn? The front here. Yalla, read the marriage.
Marriage status of the faculty at the local community college. I believe it's categorical and it's discrete.
Okay, it's a number Is it a number or categorical? Categorical. Categorical means it's a word or a letter, right? Now, a word or letter, what type of word or letter? Is it going to be nominal or ordinal? Nominal. Why? Because order doesn't matter. Like married, divorce, single. Is the order matter here? No. Okay, so up to here, it's clear everything? Okay. Can I move on to something else?
No, doctor, you didn't ask me yet.
Yes, I will ask you. Don't worry. Your turn is coming. Don't worry. Okay, so the answer is here. So I did these answers. So if you see something that, okay, you just let me know. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next one. Okay, here is it representative sample. What is a representative sample? Right. So representative sample exhibits characteristic typical identical of those possessed by the target population. Okay, what mean unbiased? Mean fair or equal, representative. Okay, so if I say I'm doing for BMU a survey, it has to be like fair. I don't take only 10 students and like 100 students from there. Okay, it has to be fair and representative. Okay, how to decide in which methodology to choose? Resources available, right? And what else?
The nature of the population.
And geographically. So then resources available, what's mean resources available?
Whatever you have at hand that you can use.
Yeah, like for example, you know, I don't have an example. Do you have an example? Yes. Yes.
Maybe in some experiments you have to interview people and take the results. However, in other hands, sometimes you don't have time.
Right, I got an idea. Like you want to send a survey to students and they don't have internet. So how are you going to get the survey back? So you have to do it on paper and you have to go to them and give them the. But what if they live far away, like in a deserted area? Can you? So now here, geographically, you have a problem to go to their city. Okay, natural people. What's mean natural people?
Maybe they don't know how to speak English or read English.
Okay, that's one reason. Could be. Yes.
They don't know how to use the laptop.
They don't know how to use a laptop. That's another reason. So.
Maybe the researcher can't reach them geographically.
Okay, this is about this one. You cannot reach them because they are far away. Okay, so I think this is enough for this point. Also, your sample must be representative and unbiased. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now we go for sampling technique. We have different sampling. We have sample, systematic, stratified, cluster, and convenience. Okay, sample one. What is a simple one? It's like randomly selecting. Okay, I ask all the girls to put their names on a piece of paper and they put it in a hat, and then I close my eyes and I pick one name or 10 names out of 26. That's called sample. So select maybe with or without replacement. The sample can be obtained. يعني with or without replacement.
We could put the name back.
Yes. So if I'm choosing 10 girls, I can take her name first time and write the name as she selected. Then I put it back in the hat, or I might just put it on the side. Or you can use a computer to do what? Using table of random numbers by the computer. The computer can generate the numbers, right? Now the second type is called systematic. So let's say, for example, like when I was in Canada, okay, I was passing by the security in the airport. Okay, so he came to me and he said, "Can you please come here?" I said, "Okay." He said, "Open your hands," and then he put some type of paper on my hand, like he's scanning or just taking a sample of my wet, yeah, and then he put it in the machine to see if I was using drugs or explosive or something like that. So I said, "Why me?" He said, "This is systematic. Every 7 person we pick, random, so systematic. So 7, the next one is going to be what number? 14. The next one is going to be 21. So that's called systematic. But I felt sad, you know. Why me?
What if they miss the person that is actually using drugs?
I'm not in the airplane, alhamdulillah. Stratified random sampling is divide into 2 strata. So if we have male and female together, we separate them, okay, and then randomly select from the girls and boys, and then that you make that. That's the way it is. Cluster, okay. In the United States, we have how many states? 51. Well, 50. 51. Which number one? The last one, 51. Hawaii. So I will divide United States into 51 states. And from that state, I will take all the people who are doing the voting for Trump or whoever the president. Tell them, okay, please come here. Can you do the voting? They do the voting, and then say, okay, next president could be so and so. Okay, that's cluster.
Doctor, what's the difference between systematic random sampling and one after? They're both random sampling.
What's the difference between systematic?
Yes.
And what?
Stratified.
Stratified. Okay, can you see the picture?
Yes.
Who can tell me the difference between this and this? Yes.
The systematic, you have like some kind of pattern where you choose like a starting point and you go with it. For the stratified, you have to like have 2 groups or like.
You have to first. You have to divide into 2 groups, and then randomly select. You see the difference? So we have 2 stages. Two stages. Stage 1, stage 2. But for the systematic, how many stages? Just only number 6, number 12, number 18, every 6 person. Is this clear?
Doctor, what's the difference between the stratified and the cluster? Because both of them are dividing.
Okay. Yes. Here, for this cluster, how many states? We said 51, correct? And we divide them into 51 states, right? And then randomly select a few states, and then everybody in that state, they have to come and give the voting. And by this way, I can say there is a chance that the next president will be so and so. But for the stratified, I divide them into 2 groups and then randomly select. Randomly. See, randomly. Here I'm not doing randomly. I'm taking everybody by force. You have to come and do the voting. Good?
So it's not random?
First, it's random.
Yeah.
But then everybody has to come.
Okay.
But the other one, divide them into 2 groups.
The randomly picked group has to come.
And then random. You have random. It could be here 3 and here 4 or something like that. Okay. All right. Next one, convenient sampling. What is convenient sampling? Anybody knows? So if I say, Naila, can you please do survey right now? So Naila, she's going to do what? she's gonna do Dana and whoever is next to her. That's it. That's convenient. Her first. Okay, next one. Proportion. Of course, there are more than this. Proportion. What's mean proportion? Yes. So let's say, for example, participants are organized by groups, like crime committed. The proportion of each crime was calculated. Inmates were then sampled at the rate shown in the population. For example, if 40% of crimes were classified as property crimes, then 40% of the sample includes inmates who committed property crimes. And the other 60? Killing, right? Yeah, or assault or something like that, right? So according to the, is this clear?
No.
Okay, I have in the university here how many girls total? Like 4,000. How many boys in the total in the university? 2,000. Do I get sample from here, same like sample from there? No, the girls will be more. How much more? Will be like 60% or 65%, right? According to the total. Because they have more, there's more girls. So I will say 4,000 plus 6,000, 2,000, that's 6,000. Divide 4,000 by 6,000 and you get the percentage. And when you get this percentage, that's how many girls you're going to be getting from there. So if the sample is 600, you buy 60 of the 100 will be girls, and 40 out of the 100 will be boys. Why? Because there are more girls more than. Is this clear? But here we're talking about crimes. Property crimes means they're stealing. And then the other crimes could be something else.
So basically, this thing is like that there's a group more than the other group, like basically.
Yes. Proportion. Okay, there are also multi-stage sample where you have stage 1 and then you have stage 2. Like for example, stage 1, you divide them into 3 groups and then you take 6. Sample size is going to be 6. So 6, you're going to get what? 2 from here, 2 from there, 2 from here, right? That's called multi-stage sample. Is this clear? How can I select the 2? By random, okay? Group 1 random, group 2 random, and so on. That's multi-stage. Of course, there is advantage and disadvantage of each methodology. That's assignment number 3 for a group. I need 2 groups, 1 group of 3 girls to present this in 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes for next class. For each type, you can say, okay, for example, here, take a look at this. What is the advantage of convenient sample? It's collect the data quickly, fewer rules, there's less rules, available sample, they are already around her, low cost, you don't spend that much time, money, easy to do, very easy, inexpensive methodology, and we said about collecting the data quickly. So that's the advantage. But what's the disadvantage? What's the disadvantage? It's not representative. You're only taking your friends. Naila, she's taking her friends only. So does not produce a representative result and is biased. Is this clear? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is just guided practice and I solve it for you already here. Okay, so please, when you go through it, please look at the answers. Okay. Should we take one? Let's take one. Okay, whose turn? Min Ali Dor. Yeah, please read.
Check the accuracy of the machine that is used for filling ice cream containers. Every 20th molecule is selected and weighted.
What type of sample is this? Every 20th. So 20th, 40th, 60th, systematic. Dana, I think she was confused. Read the next one.
In a large school, a researching number, all the full-time teachers, and then randomly selected 30 teachers to be interviewed.
Yes. What type of sample is this? Sample. What type of sample? The keyword here is what? What's the keyword? Random. It's written there.
But doctor, at the end, he just chose 30 teachers.
Oh, he said randomly.
So it's random sample.
Yes. And what about this first one?
To check the accuracy of the machine learning.
Every. Okay, what this one?
In a medical research study, a researcher selects a hospital and interview all the patients.
Wow, the cluster. Okay, so what you do here? Select a hospital. Let's say we have 20 hospitals. We select one hospital from the 20. And then from the 20, what do we do? Interview what? What's the keyword here? I think this is the question that you were asking before. What's the difference between this? Okay, let's move on. I will ask you. Don't worry. Your turn. You will come. Don't worry. Okay. Yalla, do this one because I don't want to be. Yalla, read this one. Yeah, that's what happened to me actually. This is what happened to me.
Doctor, you already told us that.
Okay, go to the next one.
Just to let you know.
يلا بسرعة ما فيش وقت.
At a local community college, 5 math classes are randomly selected out of 20, and all of the students from each class are interviewed.
Very good. Well, how did you know?
Because it says the word all.
All, very good. And you select only 5 because how many community college we have? So many, like 100. And we select only 5. And from this 5, we take all what? All students. Okay. Let's move on. Now let's go for variable. We have different types of variable. We said there are many types of variable, but mainly we focus on 4 in a few types: dependent, independent, confounding, and extraneous. I already explained to you what's dependent and what's independent. Do you understand the difference between dependent and independent? Raise your hand. If you don't understand the difference between dependent and independent, raise your hand. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the confounding and extraneous. Okay, so let's go for that. A confounding variable is unmeasured third variable that influence both the supposed cause and the supposed effect. Okay, let's read the example. I will ask Naila loudly. Can you please read?
Let's just say you're a doctor who's interested in trying to figure out why there are so many people coming in for sunburn to your hospital. So the first question you might ask yourself is, what's causing all of these sunburn? Presentations and imagine this. Imagine you found that on all the days where you had a huge amount of sunburns presentations in the emergency department. You also found that ice cream sales were up in those same days. Now, as silly as this sounds, there's a probability going to be some strong link between the numbers of ice cream sales on a particular day and the amount of sunburn presentations. You would see that the emergency department now, I'm guessing you're probably going to be figuring out what's going on here. It's actually not the ice cream sales that's affecting the sunburn presentations, obviously, but there's this additional variable which we can call sun exposure, which is affecting both the ice cream sales and the sunburn presentation. And that, my friend, is what's a confounding variable.
Very good. What did you understand? Anything?
Yeah.
What did you understand?
One thing can affect 2 factors.
Okay, so many people going to the hospital, right? And they are affected by what? Sunburn, right? They are what's said here? The amount of sunburn presentation, right? So what causes sunburn? Is the ice cream? It's the sun. But why they got sunburn? Huh? Yes, why? They are in the beach. Remember, they are standing in the beach. They're standing, waiting in the line to get the ice cream. So you stand in the line.
No, because it's really hot. The sun exposure.
Okay. So the co-founding variable here is what?
Sunburn.
Sun exposure. Well, ice cream. Huh?
Waiting outside is the variable.
Here, is it the co-founding variable? Is it the sunburn? Is it the sun, or the ice cream?
The sun.
Okay. Okay. You are saying the sun, right? Naila, continue.
Compounder influence both the dependent variable and independent variable, causing a super association. We've got the sun exposure, which is influencing the amount of ice cream sales that's occurring, and it's also influencing the number of sunburn presentations you have at the hospital. So if you actually ignore this compounding variable, you've got yourself what is clearly a spurious association between ice cream and sales and sunburn presentations.
Okay, did you understand this? Is it clear? Okay. Now we finish with the co-founding. Now the next one is the can you please read the next one? Next to you. Yes.
A co-founding variable can affect the relation between dependent variable and independent variable, make cause and correct results. For example, test whether men or women are taller. The independent variable is gender. The dependent variable is height. Age or nationality can be confounding variable.
Is this clear, this example? Maybe this example is more clear. So the nationality here, co-founding. But you didn't take this in effect. Like if we talk about Chinese people, Chinese is shorter, right? Is this clear?
Yep.
So the nationality is a co-founding variable. Now we go for the next variable. What's the next variable? Extraneous. Can you please read? Yes.
Various present in the experiment that aren't
Here, this one, extraneous.
Sorry, the example now.
Okay.
For example, if a participant is taking a test in a chilly, silent room, the temperature would be considered as an extraneous variable. Some participants may not be affected by the cold, but others might be distracted or annoyed by the temperature of the room.
Yes. So here the temperature can affect the student taking the test. So that's extraneous. Do you see the difference between extraneous and co-founding? What's the difference?
That the co-founding does affect the variables, but the extraneous might or might not affect the variables.
Okay. The question here, did you feel it or not? You didn't feel it. The cold during the test, doing the experiment. Did the students feel that and they complain about it or not?
Some of them.
You felt it. Some of them, they felt it, right? And so when you feel it, that's called extraneous. But the co-founding, the other one, the sunburn and the ice cream, you don't know. It was like hidden. You don't sense it. You find after this, if you think about it, then you can come with it, right? All right, so let's go for one more practice. I need someone to read this one and tell me the answer. Whose turn? من على الدور؟ فوزية. I didn't hear فوزية. Shadi.
Shadi is doing an experiment to determine whether the amount of time a person spends reading affects their stat score. After a few of the subjects come to the lab and read for a certain amount of time, one of course's lamp burns out and therefore makes the lab much darker for the rest of the subject. In this example, the amount of light is what type of variable?
Is it extraneous or co-founding? Of course, we don't have brightness variables, huh? Just we have dependent, independent, extraneous, co-founding. So what happened to the lamp here? What happened to the burns out, right? So the key word here is what? What's mean burnout? So can you sense it in the experiment? If you sense it, then in this case we say what? Extraneous variable.